Where do we start? How to yeah, what makes good poetry? Right here. Bang. What is good poetry? Let's see. This is a question I've read many with a certain someone upon the thought. How do you consider poetry good? I'll go a step further. Anytime you ask what is good X, the question can be answered by it's what you like. Okay, that's true. Or in a broader context, it's what people like. Okay. It's what people like. That's a fact, actually. That's a fact. I think that's pretty much everything. That's why, like, at the end of the day, business runs the world, sales run the world. It's not really about what is, it's about what you could believe other people. Oh, in real life, it's not about what is, it's about what you can convince other people about. You feel me? I mean, like, people think the earth is round. Really, it's not. But the fact that every classroom's got a globe in it, think about that. All right, I'm ready to read some poems, man. But first, I need to know what they're doing. What are techniques used in poetry? Oh wait. Literary devices. Yeah, used in poetry. Bang. Oop. Not interested. 12 literary devices in poetry. Identifying poetic devices. Let's see what they got. Anaphora, right? Anaphora describes a poem that repeats the same phrase at the beginning. Okay. This is like yeah, exactly. These are words of affirmation. I am the stone that the builders refuse. I am the visual, the inspiration that make the ladies sing the blues. I'm the spark that makes your idea bright, the same spark that lights the dark so that you can know your left from your right. I am the ballot in the box, fire. You know what I mean? That's poetry right there. Okay, anaphora. Let's actually read what they got here. I am a feather on the bright sky. I am the blue horse that runs in the plain. I am the fish that rolls shining in the water. I am the shadow that follows a child. This shit doesn't even rhyme. See, that's another thing. I feel like before we used to have like poems used to rhyme. Like Dr. Seuss was on some shit. Dr. Seuss, greatest poems. Right here. Dr. Seuss had poetry down, and then we made it like, oh, rhyming is kind of a gimmick. Now they're making it seem like only children's poems rhymes. Fuck that, man. Hold on. Look at the snitches, man. If you go to all wow, wait, how do you even read that? If you go to all wow who and walk down the beach, you'll notice a sort of a bird called the sneetch. Come on now. All right. In fact, there are two sorts of sneetches you'll find. The star belly kind and the plain belly kind. Find kind. Follow me. The star belly sneetches have bellies with stars. The plain belly sneetches don't have them on theirs. Okay, but what good rapper has never, you know what I mean, twisted the words just a little bit? You know what I mean? You show me a good rapper that tells you they've never twisted words, and I'll show you a liar. Straight up. All right, so the star belly sneetches have bellies with stars. The plain belly sneetches don't have them on theirs. Now those stars, they're not big. They are really so small. You'd think such a thing wouldn't matter at all. But because I'm not going to read this whole thing, I'm not going to lie, this shit is ass. But it rhymes, and that's what makes it fun. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, anaphora, conceit. A conceit is essentially an extended metaphor, which when you think about it, it's kind of stuck up to have a fancy word for an extended metaphor. So a conceit is pretty conceited. Okay, in order for a metaphor to be a conceit, it must run through the entire poem and be the poem's central device. Consider the poem The Flea by John Donne. Hard name. The speaker uses the flea as a conceit for physical relations. Apostrophe. Don't confuse this with the punctuation mark for possessive nouns. The literary device apostrophe is different. Apostrophe describes any instance when the speaker talks to a person or object that is absent from the poem. Poets employ apostrophe when they speak to the dead or to a long-lost lover, but they also use apostrophe when writing an ode to something, such as an ode to Gretchen. Gretchen urn or an ode to the woman in Long Island? Okay, apostrophe. Okay, metonymy and syn. Yo, okay, listen. You can't get on my ass for this word. How the hell do you even like define this word?
Synecdoche.
Synecdoche. Yo, listen. Nobody in real life is using synecdoche. This is one of them
strictly spelling bee
type words. Synecdoche and metonymy. Metonymy and synecdoche are very similar poetic devices, so we'll include them as one item. A metonymy is when the writer replaces a part for a part. What does that mean? Choosing one noun to describe a different noun. For example, in the phrase, the pen is mightier than the sword, the pen is a metonymy for writing and the sword is a metonymy for fighting. So it's just like, it's symbolism. For example, in the phrase, the pen is mightier than the sword, the pen is a metonymy, a symbol for writing, and the sword is a metonymy, a symbol for fighting. In this sense, metonymy is very similar to symbolism. See, yo, I swear to God, I didn't even see that shit. I swear to God, I'm just, you know what I mean? They say I'm a poet and I don't even know it. That's what this is, all right? Symbolism. Synecdoche is a form of metonymy, but instead of a part for a part, the writer substitutes a part for a whole. In other words, they represent an object with only a distinct part of the object. If I describe your car as a nice set of wheels, then I'm using synecdoche. Okay. I see it now. To refer to your car. I'm also using synecdoche if I call your laptop an overpriced sound system. Facts. Okay, yo, we be synecdicizing all day. I feel like synecdoche is low-key is one of the foundations of slang. You know what I mean? Like threads. You know what I mean? Nice threads. I don't know if that one really counts, but threads is part of the cloth. The cloth is the clothing that you put on your back. You know what I mean? You just distill it to be one thing. Enjambment and end-stopped lines. Poets have something at their disposal with prose writers don't. That mighty line break. Line breaks and stanza breaks help guide the reader through the poem. While these might not be hardline literary devices in poetry, they're important to understand the strategies of poetry writing. Line breaks can be one of two things, enjambed or end-stopped. End-stopped lines are lines which end on a period, boom, or on a natural break. Enjambment, by contrast, refers to a line break that interrupts the flow of the sentence. Either the line usually doesn't end with punctuation and the thought continues on the next line. Yes. What's an example of enjambment in hip hop? Hold on. Let's see what Google has to say. Examples of enjambment in hip hop verse. MF Doom's abstract freeforms verses. See, I don't listen to MF Doom. I'm too young to be listening to RZA. Kendrick Lamar, Mama, I haven't listened to that shit. This is crazy. How can I not think of a lyric? Hold on. We could do this. We could. Oh wait, no. This is the one. This is the one right here. It's Neighbors. Lyrics, J. Cole. I know exactly where it's at. Some things you can't escape. Death, taxes, NRA. It's the society that make every nigga feel like a candidate. I swear, maybe it's a double entendre, but I never saw it that way. I always thought it was, yeah, exactly. I thought it was this. Some things you can't escape. Death, taxes, NRA. Cis society that make every nigga feel like a candidate. That's what I thought it was. Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna trust Genius over whoever made, like, who's this? Lyric Find? Okay, let's just go to Zugma. It's pronounced Zoigma. Is a fun little device you don't see often in contemporary poetry. It was much more common in ancient Greek and Latin poetry, such as the poetry of Ovid. This might not be an essential device, but if you use it on your own poetry, you'll stand out for your mastery of language and unique stylistic choices. A zoigma occurs when one verb is used to mean two different things for two different objects. For example, I might say he ate some pasta and my heart out. To eat pasta and to eat someone's heart out are two very different definitions for ate. One conception is physical, the other is conceptual. The key here is to use ate once in the sentence, as Zoigma should surprise the reader. This is just, bro, I feel like rap doesn't get enough credit for how, you know what I mean? Like, you explaining the basic shit and giving it a word a name like Zoigma. Like, this is just wordplay. Motherfuckers on URL will do this 10 times before you can blink. You know what I mean? Like, what are we talking about? Repetition. Last but not least, among the top literary devices, repetition is key. Cool. We know what that is. Internal and end rhymes. This shit's fire right here. Internal rhymes, that's my sauce. The first example of internal rhymes I can think of is I think it's Lucifer, Jay-Z lyrics. I'm pretty sure it's the second verse. Nah. It's the one about the doctor. Something about the doctor. Lord forgive him, he's got the dark forces in him. But he also got a righteous cause for sinning them and murder me, so I gotta murder them first. Emergency, doctors performing procedures. Jesus, I ain't trying to be facetious, but vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. You said it better than all. Leave niggas on death's door, breathing on rest. Poor raiders for killing my best boy haters. On permanent hiatus as I skate in a Maybach bed. Ooh, right there. Is that Zoigma? No, that's Enjambment. On permanent hiatus as I skate. Yeah, I mean, in a Maybach Benz, fly at the Santa. Motherfuckers got some dope verses out there. Alliteration, we know that one. That's like a second grade device right here, but it's fire when you use it. Consonants and along with alliteration, consonants and assonants share the title for the most important sound devices in poetry. Alliteration refers specifically to the sounds at the beginning. Consonants and assonants refer to the sounds within words. Euphony, cacophony. Poems that master musicality will sound either euphonious. I'm also thinking like Phineas and Ferb. Euphonious. Oh, okay. What's something you still remember from high school English? Shit, alliteration, really. But y'all took that one already. Personally, I always remember that Shakespeare wrote an iambic pentameter. That is a fact. Iambic pentameter? Come on now. All right. I also remember the iambic pentameter resembles a heartbeat. Love is a smoke made with the fumes of sighs. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Wait, so what? Love is a smoke made with the fumes of sighs. Okay. So you gotta have like even syllables, an even number of syllables. Love is a smoke made with the fumes of sighs. Type shit. Is that what you're saying? Metrical considerations are often reserved for classic poetry. Still, the contemporary landscape of poetry doesn't have many poets using meter. Perhaps the next important metrical poet is you. I ain't gonna lie, I don't have it in me to like, you know what I mean? Let's just write our first poem and get the fuck out of here. I could be back here tomorrow, to be honest.